The M3 Bradley Cavalry Fighting Vehicle is an American tracked armored reconnaissance vehicle manufactured by BAE Systems Land and Armaments based on the Bradley fighting vehicle family. The M3 CFV is used by heavy armored cavalry units in the U.S. Army. History. The M3 Bradley CFV is very similar to the M2 Bradley IFV and is fielded with the same two-man 25mm Bushmaster cannon turret with a coaxial 7.62 mm machine gun. It only varies from the M2 in a few subtle ways and by role. The M3 is classified as an armored reconnaissance and scout vehicle and does away with the firing ports found in the M2 series. The M3 also carries mortar missiles as well as more ammunition for its 25mm and 7.62mm guns. The Bradley family as a whole was originally intended to support the M113 armored personnel carrier, but ended up replacing it altogether. Today, the Bradley is fielded in conjunction with the M1 Abrams series of main battle tanks and often accompanies infantry squads into combat. In the 1991 Persian Gulf War, Bradleys and their 25mm cannon-tow anti-tank missile combination destroyed more enemy tanks than the M1 Abrams. Only 3 Bradleys were lost to enemy fire, however, at least 17 were lost to friendly fire. Improvements to the Bradley family have included enhanced identification features, as well as anti-tank missile countermeasures and improved armor protection in the form of era replacement. It was the U.S. Army's intention that the BCT ground combat vehicle program will replace the M2 Bradley and M113 with the GCV infantry fighting vehicle by 2018. While the M3 Bradley could later be replaced by future variants of the GCV. The GCV project was eventually cancelled in early 2014. Design. Camouflage. The M3 Bradley comes in sand, woodland, olive drab, urban. Concealment. All versions are equipped with 2 4-barreled M257 grenade launchers on the front of the turret for creating defensive smoke screens, chaff, and flares. It is also fitted with an engine smoke-generating system. Armor for the hull and turret for all variants is steel, 5083 aluminum, and unique to the turret is 7039 aluminum. In addition, the turret is strongly welded to the assembly. NBC. The M3A1 variant introduced a gas particulate filter system. Damage control. The M3A1 variant introduced a fire suppression system. Mobility. The Bradley is highly capable in cross-country open terrain, in accordance with one of the main design objectives of keeping pace with the M1 Abrams main battle tank. Whereas the M113 would float without much preparation. The Bradley was initially designed to float by deploying a flotation curtain around the vehicle. This caused some drownings due to failures during its first trials. Armor upgrades have negated this capability. The M3 Bradley was originally developed to accommodate a scout motorcycle. The idea was abandoned when it became apparent that the cycle's unprotected fuel tank could be hazardous to crew members. Variants. M3. This model is essentially a restored M2 Bradley. The passenger compartment was occupied by 2 observers and more ammunition and missiles. Because it did not carry a squad, the firing ports were covered. The M3 retained the 3 periscopes between the cargo hatch and entry ramp and the periscopes along the sides of the vehicle. M3A1. The M3A1 variant introduced a gas particulate filter system for NBC threats. Unlike the M2A1 Bradley, the NBC masks connected to the central filter for all 5 crewmen, instead of just the driver, gunner, and vehicle commander. This variant also introduced a fire suppression system. The 3 periscopes on the rear deck were omitted on the M3A1, and replaced by 4 periscopes in the cargo hatch itself. The 2 periscopes on the right side of the passenger compartment were also removed. M3A2. The M3A2 incorporated enhanced armor upgrades, such as the ability to mount explosive reactive armor from the M2A2 Bradley. After live fire testing, seating and ammunition stowage arrangements were also changed, with the observers moved to a bench on the left side of the vehicle and the missile stowage rearranged to enhance safety. After the Gulf War, other improvements including an eye-safe carbon dioxide laser rangefinder, global positioning system and compass, missile countermeasure device, combat identification system, and thermal viewer for the driver were incorporated into the M3A2 ODS. M3A3. The M3A3 model of the Bradley uses enhanced information and communication equipment, a central processing unit, and information displays for the vehicle commander and squad leader. The M3A3 is compatible with the intervehicular communication system of the M1A2 Abrams tank and AH-64D Apache Longbow helicopter. The commander has an independent thermal viewer and a new integrated sight unit called the Improved Bradley Acquisition System, which allows automatic gun adjustments, automatic bore sighting, and tracking of dual targets. The roof is reinforced with titanium armor. Many M3A3s were converted from M3A2s.